let's move on to a second tutorial, which would talk about doing search using the Twitter API. So as we talked about, that given ID of a specific tweet, you can get information about all that tweet. However, that is very inconvenient because especially when you want to collect data at very large scale, you always don't know what data you want to collect. You may not always have access to the source tweets. Plus, if you want to collect hundreds of millions of tweets, you can't sit down and manually write down their tweet IDs. And for being able to do that, Twitter provides you with a search endpoint where you can take the entire Twitter pass library and search through tweets and collect them. So to start with, we'll import Tweepy and our keys again. We'll do our authentication and we'll start with a search API. So to start with search API, just like every other search, like using Google search or any other search, you need to have a query based on which you would perform the search. Okay. This is what a query. A query is generally a string. It can be any word. It doesn't need to be very specific. It doesn't need to be very specific in the sense that it doesn't need to be case specific or need to be exact word. The search itself is fuzzy. However, it should be a query should be related to what you're looking for. So at the time of this recording, there is extreme winters going on in Delhi. So let's see what people have been talking about Delhi winters online. So our query is Delhi winters. And once you have that, again, Tweepy makes it extremely simple by taking all the complexities of Twitter API and wrapping them into very clean, neat functions. So we have to do something as simple as api.search_tweets, which is a search function, and provide Q is the variable internally which marks it as query, and we just pass on our query, and it would contact the Twitter search API, and result would be saved in a search results endpoint. Yeah. So we run this and let's look at, so the type of this is a search results. So this is a combination of all the results which we have gotten. We can do .counts to see how many tweets have been written. By default, it's always 15. However, you can change the number of how many more numbers you want to get out of it. Okay, so let's look at one of the random searches. So out of the 15, I'm looking at the fourth search result. So again, it's a list. So I can do search results. The index indicate I want to look at the fifth sample because it's an indexed array. It would start with 0. So to look at the fifth element, we add an index 4, and .json would just give it the JSON file. And as you can see, this is the information which is talking about, this is a retweet which is talking about how the temperatures has been going down. Just like in the previous tutorial, we saw all the information about tweet. This tweet also have all the information like when it was created, its ID, its text, who created it, the reply information, all the information about the user per se. So this way, you are now not limited to knowing the ID of the tweet. You can actually go on, have a query, and based on that query, you can search the Twitter past history and get your tweets. However, the Twitter API has some limitations, just like rate, that by default you can only look at tweets which have been done 1 week in the past. However, if you have access to academic API, you can look into much older histories also. By default, it would only look through the past 7 days, tweets which are done in past 7 days. Okay, so this is a very neat function. Since we have gotten like 15 results, I showed you one. This is just a for loop of going through all the results and looking at just the text of all the results we have gotten. And if we look at it, we see that there has been weather forecast. So we see there is, this is probably like in some different language, most probably Gujarati. And then there is retweet of the same tweet. So this is also important to note that these may not be all, the search results are always not unique, in the sense that if somebody did a tweet and that is a very popular tweet and is being retweeted 1,000 times, all those 1,000 retweets are separate unique tweets as far as Twitter is concerned. And if you would go through this query, it may return multiple versions of that same tweet. So depending on what kind of analysis you are doing, you may want to deduplicate these, which you would have to do later, because you can do it based on the information of the text itself, or every retweet would have the information of the original tweet inside it, which where you can do a ID based matching to see that all of these are unique. Okay. And then there are other like missing Delhi winter. So as you can see, case did not affect, even though our query was all small case Delhi winters. Delhi winter, it has been able to give information about where Delhi and winter are capitalized and all this information. That's nice. However, you may not always want to just filter based on a query. Twitter API gives you ability to filter at a much stronger level, in the sense that you can filter that, okay, I want tweets related to this query, but only which have been done in this geographical location. Of course, adding geographical location to a tweet is a voluntary thing. Some users may decide to not do it, and in those cases, those tweets would not be filtered. But if a user decides to do it, so you can say, I only want tweets which have been done based on this latitude and longitude, and let's say a 10-kilometer area of this, and you can filter based on only in India, based on only in US or some country or some state. That is what geocoding filtering is. You can also filter based on language. So I only want tweets which are done in Hindi or Gujarati or Marathi or English or Chinese. Results type is interesting, because result type is, because you are filtering or searching through a lot of tweets, what do you want? Do you want them in a chronological manner? Do you want the most popular tweets? Do you want the latest one? Do you want the oldest one? Result type can help you select that, count how many number of tweets you want be returned. Until, if you want to give like a specific date, you want to filter that you only want tweets which are done before this date or after that date. That is where until and after filters can be used for. And since ID, max ID, since the Twitter ID we talked about, these are integer numbers, and they are sequential in some form. You can say that I only want tweets which are done before this ID or after this ID. These are not, the Twitter IDs are not sequential numbers. It's not 1, 2, 3 counting. The tweet ID in itself has a much more complex information, but the purpose of this since ID and max ID is that if you say since this ID, it would mean that any tweet which was done after this tweet was done. A complex way of doing it would be, you go to that specific tweet, you get the date, and then you add that as a filter. However, Twitter API allows you to just give it ID, and it would do the after before logic internally. And finally, include entities is also an important one. By default, as we saw, the text is sometimes truncated and it may not have all the information about the media which is attached to a tweet. Include entities is a flag which lets you get all that extra information about the tweet also when you get it. So based on all this, let's try to create a slightly more complex query where we have Delhi winters. We only want to get data which is in Hindi, which is denoted by HI. We're going to get popular, and the different language codes are available in the documentation of TweeP and Twitter API. We want to get the most popular results, and we want to get the extended mode. Extended mode is the mode where all the information about the media and the full text of the tweet and everything is available. So we mark all these values as these variables. And again, we have the same TweeP function, search._tweets, but now we have added, plugged all this extra information in this tweet, and we still run the search results. And now that we see some new tweets. Now, of course, these are much less in number because we are asking for Hindi tweets. They would be much less in number, especially because we are doing a Hindi tweet and our query is still in English. So it would try to get tweets which are generally written in Hindi but have some parts of English. That puts the window in last 1 week may be very small, and that's why we are only getting 2 tweets here. But as you can see, they are definitely about winters and Delhi winters per se. So the search API itself is very complex, and it lets you do very complex filtering also, rather than just being able to filter that out. To revise, we looked at in the first tutorial how to, given a tweet ID, how can you get a tweet and all the information which is returned in the tweet. However, that is not always practically feasible to have the tweet ID of a given tweet. So you would want to search through retrospectively that, okay, I want to collect data about this specific event. And for that, you can use search tweet, where you can have different queries. You can have very complex filters in terms of geolocation, language. How do you want to get do you want to get the most popular tweets? Do you want to get them from some specific time period to time period? You can plug all of that into the Twitter search API, which in Tweepy is search._tweets, and it would return the same JSON information, which it would return for a single tweet here. Once you get this information, one logistical thing here is that it's you got all this information of hundreds and thousands of tweets. You may not want to analyze it all the time. You want to save it for analyzing it in future or sharing it in future. For that, there is no hard and fast way of how these can be saved. These can be saved as CSVs. If you pull out each individual field, you can save them as pickle files. However, considering the natural way this data is returned is in JSON. One of the easiest way and the most original way of storing them is in JSON. So for that, we import the JSON package. And what I'm doing here simply is I am writing a for loop on all my search results, and for every search result, I create I have a directory called tweet dump, in which I essentially write tweet underscore the number of the tweet, and based on that, I can just dump all of them into files. So if I run this, and if I go to tweet dump folder, you would see a bunch of these tweets have been dumped. If I go 0, this is the same tweet at what we saw there. This looks a bunch of numbers because that tweet was in Hindi, and the rendering of Jupyter Notebook shows them as Unicode characters. But as you can see, it is from the same user. So this same tweet, however, if you would read back it in Python, it would show it as normal Hindi characters and not Unicode. That's just a problem of Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So to recap, in this second tutorial, we learned how can we get data from Twitter using the search API. How can this search be filtered not only based on query but also on other parameters? And once you have some search results, how can they be saved in files, particularly in JSON files, to be used in future?